Around 33 years ago, I found myself having been rejected for several positions that I really wanted, and was a bit despondent, would be an understatement, about that situation. And then being thrust into big responsibilities. When the rector I was serving, I was the assistant, he left, and I was thrust in charge of a day school in a large parish, and not really having much support, not really knowing what I was doing, and feeling out of my league in so many ways. And spent a lot of time in prayer and hanging on, feeling in one way very distant from God. Where are you? But also having nowhere else to turn. And in that moment of distress, really, in hindsight, was very close to God. I could not imagine what was to come. I did not have much hope of what to go or where to go, and somebody else put my name in for this church here in Maine. It was way beyond what I was imagining or looking for in any way, shape, or form. And it turned out to be a profound blessing, something I could not have imagined. The perfect place in so many ways, the place where I felt God called me to be. Sometimes I cannot always see that calling or know where to be. I think it's somewhat similar before I got married or before having children. I could not imagine what it was like to be a father, to raise kids. And yet that blessing was so deep and so profound. Nothing I could have ever imagined. God's grace has a way of being beyond anything we can imagine. Even for the parish of St. John's here in Thomaston, there's a number of times in the course of its history. In 1970, the bishop had slated the church to close, and there was a lot of despair and frustration and people scrambling to see what they could do, and not having any awareness in that moment that the dean of the cathedral would accept the position here and retire up here, and in doing so completely change the course of this parish, making it into a singing parish, savoring the flowers and what it did with the altar guild, and really making it a parish, setting the groundwork for it, that the next pastor, Bill Kennison, coming in, really could continue that, to make it a parish. 1970, they could not have imagined that in any way, shape, or form. We find ourselves, as I am now, getting ready to retire, wondering what's next. The parish, wondering after 32 years of me being here, what's next for the parish. And in all the times that I have been in situations like this, I found that what is to come and what God is doing is beyond what I can imagine. It's important to remember that we're here for God, that we're here to be thankful to God, even when times are difficult or trying or uncertain. Our world is in a place like this. What will happen? Will there even be a world in 20, 30, 40, 50 years? And in all this uncertainty, God's grace is sufficient. God's mercy is unrelenting. God's love is all that there is. Let us hold on to that truth and know that the things that are to come might be beyond our understanding, but it is in the mind of God. It is in the truth of God. Let us be open to be surprised, to be changed, that the course and what we've always known might be different. Most likely will be. I could not have imagined in any way, shape, or form living in Maine, with raising my family here. And yet God's mercy, God's grace has so blessed me. And God's blessings have touched me in so many ways through you. God has blessed us. God will continue to bless us. God is blessing us this very day. And we have the courage, the adaptability, the strength, the imagination, the sheer openness of joy to see that, to accept that. And sometimes it means just simply laughing at ourselves. But most often it's by being thankful that we are open ourselves to the grace and mercy of God. We begin by being thankful. We continue to thrive in being thankful. And we open ourselves to new horizons when we look up and remind ourselves of the thankfulness and the beauty and the joy of God's grace. And the phone is ringing behind me. The future is waiting. May God's grace be with you and all those whom you love in amazing and remarkable ways this day and in the years to come. Amen.